Welcome to the Instigators Hockey Show. I'm Paulie D. Got the shirt on. That's Chris Katsopoulos over there. We're drinking a couple of cold beers. We got a lot to talk about. You kill the tunes. And let's get to it.
That still is a great video of our boy Rempy, who's got to get some ice time eventually.
Well, I've made a commitment to play that every show until the kid gets called up.
Head up here. Let him play against Washington.
Yeah. I don't care who he plays against. Lot to discuss, lot to talk about, lots and lots of stuff. But of course, I have to start with one of my favorite all-time hockey players in the world, and I tried to load up some video, but I didn't really have enough time. But I don't wear jerseys, a lot of hockey jerseys with names on them. Actually, I think I have one that is behind you right there. That is signed though.
That one won't fit you anymore.
Actually, I did that myself, and I'll never do it again. It was very difficult. But I will say,
it looks great.
Inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, probably one of my favorite New York Rangers of all time, Henrik the King Lundqvist. And what a beautiful ceremony. What an elegant speech. I mean, the man just, I got to be honest with you, man. If I died and had somebody to come back as, it would probably be him. That's how much I like that guy.
Oh, stop it.
I just think he's so well spoken. He's probably the hardest working hockey player that I've seen in my lifetime. And just it breaks my heart that the guy never hoisted the Stanley Cup. But what a great accolade to be inducted so early into the Hockey Hall of Fame, and just amazing stuff, man. So, God bless him, and congratulations is all.
Yeah, he deserves everything he gets, Paulie, from having his jersey retired up in the rafters in New York, now being in the Hall of Fame. Think about it. I mean, he didn't win a Stanley Cup, but you know how many guys are in the Hall of Fame that didn't win a Stanley Cup? Quite a few.
Oh yeah.
So that's not a knock on anybody.
No knock.
And the bottom line is he's the Rangers' all-time leading winner at goaltender with 459 wins, and he also is the all-time shutout guy with 64. So when you become a leader of such a storied franchise like the New York Rangers, I mean that means something, because you take a look up in the rafters outside the obvious 94 guys. Not many of those guys won Stanley Cups that are up there, you know what I mean? Like Rod Gilbert and Dick Hadfield and Jacques Rattel and all those guys. So good for him. You're right. I had the opportunity to maybe talk to him twice in my whole time as an alumni. Once I was on a golf course during an alumni golf tournament. We sat and talked. We were waiting on a golf team. We were talking. I think it was his last season too when we talked. And it's a nice guy and everything. The other time was a joke where one of my former teammates who will go unknown, I will not mention the name, and Lundqvist were staying together after the tournament. And I looked at them both and I said, "Whoa, look, the beauty and the beast." I'll keep it quiet though about who was the beast.
Well, if I know you.
And even Lundqvist got a big laugh out of that, but my former teammate wasn't happy at all.
Oh, boy.
At all with that comment.
I bet you said that to Ronnie Duguay. I would bet it was Ronnie Duguay you said that to. Oh, my God.
No, you're wrong there. I'm not going to say anything. Hey, everybody, what's going on there? Hey, Beth, Richard.
Oh my God, that's hilarious!
But it was perfect timing, because there's Lundqvist, the GQ guy.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm not afraid to let her rip from my mouth. So.
Oh no, never. Yeah, Kotze don't hold back for Betty.
Hey, if the words fit, I use them. Not like the glove guys. It's not like that the glove fits.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So congratulations to Henrik.
Yeah, it's really actually a pretty good weekend, though. Other than that, Paul, it was 3 goaltenders: Tom Barrasso, Mike Vernon, And Pierre Turgeon was the only skater, I believe, if I'm correct. Was there any other skater?
I don't remember
I
offhand.
think it was a general manager, ex-agent for the Avalanche too.
So
And there's
his
probably a couple
crowd,
others I forgot. So.
yeah, it was a good ceremony, and it was good. It was good. It was good to see that for Hank. I just like I said, just how many years we were doing shows, and I'm gonna figure out a way to incorporate it. I'll probably just get one of the videos, but the crowd started to chant Lundqvist in the background, and I remember the days in Madison Square Garden where that would just decorate the arena. How that guy saved the bacon of the New York Rangers so many times when they just struggled to score goals, and and he just for years we talked about how Hank was the catalyst of what that team was going to do, and just single-handedly won games, won series, just won. And the other great thing is if you talk to so many years of different teammates. I was watching Brian Boyle last night. Mike Rupp, Brian Boyle. Of course, the guys that are still on the team now, like Zibanejad and Kreider, and they all say the same thing too about him. They say, "What a professional! What a perfectionist! Never met a guy who worked harder at being the best in his craft." And somebody said last night, and it makes sense, is he hated losing more than he liked winning. And that is, that sounds like Henrik Lundqvist. Um, you know, and anyway, just year after year, every year, that guy he amazed me at his talent level and what he did for that franchise.
Well, no, there's no question about it. Like you and I have discussed in the past. I mean, there were seasons there where I think that one year they went to the Stanley Cup, and the year they got beat out by New Jersey Devils in the Eastern Conference. Those two seasons alone, I think Henrik Lundqvist, he could attribute at least 20 wins to him alone each season. So we're talking 40 points. Yeah. With those 40 points, they don't even come close to the playoffs. Yeah. So and the other thing too, Paulie, that people forget, playing in New York is not an easy thing to do. I don't care what anybody says. Any of the sports in New York, but we're talking Rangers hockey, so I'll leave it at that. It's just not an easy thing to do for somebody to come out, from Europe like that, from Sweden, come to the big city and perform the way he did. And like you said, just a perfectionist and professional all the way through, and still is. I think he still wants to play, though.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I think he probably still could play, to be honest with you.
I guess he shut out everybody in that Legends game. They were down 4-3, and his team came back to win 6-3. He didn't allow a goal in that Legends game, and he shut them out in the shootouts, too.
Yeah, he's something else, man. But I'll just finish with this. I liked him so much that, and I wasn't a fan, and I wasn't happy when the Rangers bought him out, and then he did sign a contract, but never played a game with the Washington Capitals. But I got to tell you that I wouldn't have been opposed to him to play anywhere. Didn't care where it would be. I cared. I wanted him to go to a champion. That's really how much I loved Henrik Lundqvist, and I wanted that man so badly to win a Stanley Cup. Obviously, I wanted him to win a cup with the Rangers, but when that wasn't going to happen, if he went somewhere and won a cup, I would have been very happy with him. It wouldn't matter with who. But it didn't happen.
I'm glad he didn't play for the Capitals, I'll be honest.
Me too. I'm glad he never started. I'm glad.
In fact, if you didn't bring it up, I forgot all about that. I'm still going to forget all about that. So.
Yep. I'm glad he never played a game with them either, or really any other franchise. But like I said, if he had gone to a champion, I would have rooted for him, I mean, shit, even if he went to like the Penguins and because I hate the Penguins, but I would have rooted for him no matter where he went, man. Anyway, Let's move on. We got a lot to talk about. I think the next subject we're gonna go from happy to sad here. Well, I don't know. So it looks like Matt Petgrave has been held accountable for the manslaughter of Adam Johnson. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know any. I can't sit here and tell you I know any of England's law. I don't know any British law. I have no idea. But manslaughter has been mentioned, and I was looking because I know some articles said man held. I mean, the only man that would have been held was him anyway. But it what the clip that I showed you last show, that same I've been following that podcast, and they mentioned it was obviously it was Petgrave. So
Yeah, it's weird how every article says man arrested in the case, but they won't name him. But who else would it be? I mean,
yeah,
seriously, who else would it be? Would it be? Can't be the guy in the crowd, you know what I mean, selling popcorn.
right,
It has to be Matt Petgrave, and
right,
I'm gonna say, I got plenty of texts today. I usually don't get a lot of texts from people because I really don't give a shit about cell phones, but they were asking me, what I thought, and I'm standing by what I said last week. The bottom line is I don't think Petgrave intended to cut the guy's throat, but I do think he intended to slow him down with his legs. So, what is the law? How deep does the law reach when it comes to stuff like this? I did see one site that actually broke it down to like there's actually 5 different categories of manslaughter, or that are possible for him
right.
in this. Hey, it's a shitty situation. A human being lost his life playing a game he loved. His family's in mourning. His fiance is in mourning. And now this Matt Petgrave. He did have a reputation, okay, of being a little bit of a chippy, dirty player out there. But apparently he got a standing ovation the other night, Paulie, in his first game back. 8,000 people stood up and gave him a standing ovation. So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I again, did he intend to murder a hockey player? I don't think so. But did he stick his leg out? That was damn obvious to me. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we discussed it. I mean, there's not a lot to say other than, the intent to murder someone. No, the intent to impede that player's progress, absolutely. And in this case, he stuck his leg out and cut the guy's throat. So, manslaughter, there's a bunch of different manslaughters in America, and, one of them is involuntary manslaughter. I think that might be close. I don't know British English law. I don't know how it breaks down, but it's what it is it's a it's what happens from an action. So, and it's not a good, it's not a good ending. So, we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, like you said, I don't think the intent to murder someone was there, or even injure really. But you got to think, as a hockey player, sticking your foot up like that is a very, very dangerous play. It's not a hockey move, as we've discussed, and we know that, that could be very dangerous. So, other than that, I have nothing else on the topic.
We'll just have to wait and see what happens from here on in. I mean, we'll keep an eye on it, no question about it, and see what happens. Because whatever ends up with this, whether he gets charged fully and then spends jail time, it's going to have some repercussions around the rest of the hockey world. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. It will. Because we know how this world is today. It's not like it was 30, 40, 50 years ago.
There is discussion with the general managers, and I'll move it on with this.
Move it on, big boy.
For the protective equipment, and I don't know that they're going to make it mandatory right now, but they're going to do a lot like they've discussed, and I've read the article. They've discussed doing like they did with the helmet rule. You're grandfathered into this point, and then after that, you had to wear a helmet, and now look where they are with the shields.
Yeah.
So It looks like they're going to do the same thing with the neck protection. Probably in 5 or 7 years, though, all those new players will be wearing neck protection. So I can't say that I disagree with it. If it could save a life, because, like you said, and I don't disagree, Cots. I mean, we've seen what 3 incidences in our lifetime, maybe 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's listen. What happened there is like it's a bad analogy, but it's like winning the lotto. Think about it.
It's like getting struck by lightning.
What
Yeah,
are your odds? You know what I mean? It's just a freakish thing. We've seen it in the past with a couple other players in the National Hockey League and in juniors and in amateur hockey and stuff like that. For the amount of times it's happened, it's minimal. I mean, but right. I do agree with you. I think, which I don't know if you're going to see it as quick as you think for everybody, but I think it'll start at the youth level and go all the way through junior and all the way through high schools in the United States and college. And then eventually when you get rid of the old timers, that play under the rules that they want to play by today, it'll just be a natural evolution into the game, period. So,
yeah.
I mean, some guys are wearing them now in the National Hockey League, but I got a feeling there's going to be a few people, obviously, that not real happy about putting it on right now because they're just not used to it.
Yeah. Well, I know it's in discussion, and I think, like I said, they'll phase it in at some point, and then at some point it'll just become part of the equipment that's required, as face shields are and helmets are now.
That's not the only thing you were talking about, the management. What about the overtime bullshit?
Yes.
What about the overtime bullshit? Let me say what I think first, okay? Then you can get into the details of what they said. I'm getting a little tired of watching the overtimes for one reason only. It reminds me too much of that sport called soccer. Let's attack the blue line, but let's go back a bit and regroup all the time. I mean, I don't get it, eh? Like, what part of a real game is that? First of all, 3-on-3 is not part of the real game to start with. Okay.
Yeah. Don't disagree with you there.
Now you got guys that are just wheeling around the ice, going all the way down, circling around the net, coming back outside the blue line, going back to their blue line, waiting for another guy to change, and then another guy comes on, and then we're going to try again. Whoop, that didn't work. That's what they do in soccer. Soccer will kick the ball from the goalie to the defenseman to the midfielder, and midfielder back to the defenseman and the goalie back. That ain't hockey.
Yeah.
That's not hockey. This is just like a circus out there.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know what you read, so I'm going to let you go from there. But I think there's something has to be done about it where you can't backtrack.
Well, here's what I read, because you're not the only one, talking about how it just doesn't. It's not what it was intended to do. And now the players have figured out a new dynamic, like you said. I did read the article. It was really about the players talked about on their side. They said, well, it's about puck possession. As long as we have the puck and they don't have the puck, we'll just, there's so much room. So the players don't want to give them the puck. So they are discussing it now briefly. And there's going to be a meeting. Board of Governors, the general managers are going to sit together in March and discuss possible changes to the 3-on-3, with not limited to and not exclusive to shot clocks. So having to move the puck faster than you would like to. And then a zone clock, so you can only have it. The defending player can only have it in the defensive zone for a period of time. But what they're afraid of, they're not sure how they're going to penalize it, because the last thing they want to do is blow whistle.
Are you kidding?
So they don't want to blow the whistle, but yet they don't know how to govern this. So they're going to sit and discuss ideas.
Are you kidding? This is what they want.
Yeah. Well, not that these were just some of the ideas that were brought. It's not that anything is definitely going to happen, but those were the things that would
Well,
just.
Okay, now that you'd explained it to me, because I didn't read shit about it, I'll be honest with you. But if that's what they're thinking about, and if that's what they honestly think they're going to do, just go straight to the fucking shootout, please.
Yeah. So.
That's not hockey.
Yeah.
What part of the 60-minute game does that resemble?
Yeah. I know.
What part of it? None of it. None of it at all.
I know.
I wish they want to keep the overtime, go back to what it was when I played. Play your 5-minute overtime. If you lose in overtime, the losers get no points. If it ends up a tie, you get a tie. It was still a resemblance of a real 60-minute game, the 5-minute overtimes we played. But this, you're talking about shot clocks like basketball?
And baseball. Look what they did to baseball.
Well, that's different because we're not talking about high-speed action there.
I know.
Otherwise, you'd fall asleep watching a baseball game if you let these guys, linger on forever. But Paulie, this is what my biggest problem with the National Hockey League is that they've instituted so much crap rules-wise, from lane penalties to no calling penalties to goalie interference to this thing, that thing. I mean, all the things that they've put in has not improved the scoring one fucking bit.
Yeah,
it hasn't.
Well,
so now they're going to do a shot clock. Jeez, I better get rid of this puck because the shot clock's coming down. That's not hockey.
Well, it's funny because it was part of the discussion, but it was funny in the article because they talked about it briefly, but then Colin Campbell had said it's not what they want for the game because it just slows the game down even more because let's say you exceed the shot clock, now they got to blow the whistle and you have a face-off.
If it's if it's Colin Campbell that said that, then I agree. Let's do it. Asshole.
So just here's what I got out of the article. They have no idea how to fix it, but they're going to sit and meet and talk about it. So they know there's a problem. They're just not sure what the remedy is just yet.
Well, none of the overtime hockey now, under the way it's being played, under the way the players have allowed it to go that way too. You got to blame them a little bit too.
Sure.
They took advantage of that where they can roam around the ice, backtrack, go back, forth, and really not do anything. That's not hockey to me. That's not hockey. That's just going for a little pleasure skating.
Yeah. It's what's that game? What was that called?
Shinny.
No, what's it called when you can't kill the guy with the puck? Whatever. When you gotta carry it the whole time. Anyway, so I digress. It's been a long day.
All right.
We talked about those. It flows right. Well, if you want to interrupt me, do it now because I'm about to get into officiating.
No.
I got to get fired up.
I got you all fired up talking about Filipino before, so I want you to go. Go.
Okay. So, if you follow me on the Instigators Hockey Show group on Facebook or my Facebook page, Paulie D, I spoke probably, I want to say, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe a little more than 2 weeks. I don't know. I broke down the definitions of words. I included the rule book of the NHL rule book of what was the interpretation. And I'm just going to go off on a rant here, okay? Because I have never, ever seen such incompetence in the NHL as I'm seeing right now today. I watched the game last night. I watched the Avalanche and the Kraken last night. I'll talk about that in a few. But I'm going to talk specifically about the two things that really have bothered me. I broke down distinct kicking motion. So First of all, kicking is an action. Okay, it's an action, and kicking is the progression of a forward movement or a movement, vigorous movement of the foot, meaning quickly, uh, with determination. Okay, that's what a kicking motion is. The NHL rule, and I forgot to buy, and I wrote it down in the article, was a player cannot score a goal with a distinct kicking motion. That's very, very complete in what the meaning of is kicking in a goal. Will Cooley was robbed when he changed direction and stopped, and the puck went off his skate and went in the net.
Yeah.
We've seen many goals scored that way, and they review it. Here's my biggest fucking problem. They review it, and they say, okay, we don't see a distinct kicking motion. The goal's good. They usually have gotten it right in the past. After minutes and minutes of watching this, I sat back, and I think I know the fucking game pretty good, and I know the rule book good because I've actually read the rule book, believe it or not. And I said to myself, that's a good goal. Absolutely reviewed it. It's a good goal. I know the rules. It's a good goal. They call it back. It's not a good goal. Distinct kicking motion. You done lost your fucking mind, for one. For two, where are they in Toronto? Where are they in Toronto? Because I guess the officials on the ice now review it and make the call. They're not even getting the calls from Toronto anymore to say, that's a good goal, that's a bad goal. Just so you know, it's the officials on the ice that make that call. Now, they look at the iPad. Oh, okay. The other night, the fucking puck crosses the line. The player points to the fucking puck. The whistle hasn't blown yet. He knows the puck's in the net. You can see it. Takes them 15 minutes to decide it's not a goal. How? Who's looking at this stuff? This last night I watched the Kraken play against the Avalanche. Georgiev is on his face. He made a save. A skate blade touches him. Not when the puck does. The player comes out of the crease, and they call it goaltender interference, and they call the goal back. I'm scratching my head like, what the fuck is happening in the NHL? Like, is it somebody doesn't know what they're doing? Is there not an officiating body that can get – you have to get these calls right if you're going to use video replay. You have to get them right. The rule book states what is good and bad. They're coming up with shit out of their ass. I just don't get it. And if I was an owner, if I was in the governing body of the NHL, I would demand an investigation. What is happening? Do we not have competent people anymore? We need to fix this because you're not getting it right. You are not getting it right. More calls are overturned and mistakenly called the wrong way than are than being accurate, and it's disgusting because it feels like we're in the old boy league. I feel like we're in the old boy league.
Well, listen, I didn't see you explain the Kraken situation yesterday with Georgiev. I didn't see it, so I gotta believe you're right on that one. But Cooley's non-goal the other night. What bothered me about that is the official is clearly standing behind the net, and when they showed the replay over and over and over again live, you don't hear the whistle until after the puck is shown right there and past the red line, the goal line.
Yeah.
It's clear he goes like this, waves it off way after the puck across the line. Mm-hmm. Then you got to go, like you said, was it 15 minutes? It felt like an hour.
Yeah.
felt like a fucking hour watching that.
It was at least 10 minutes. Yeah.
Here's the problem that I have with it. The intention was to be let's get everything right. Okay. I didn't like it in the first place. Sorry, people. I'm old school, but once you put it in, I think what's happened is exactly to what you said, Paulie. I think you got people in Toronto in that replay, whatever private box that they had there, probably swilling beer and everything, that think they're more important than the game. I really believe that. And I think sometimes the officials think they're more important than the game by making their shit call after shit call after shit call after they haven't made a call, after they haven't made a call, after they haven't made a call. You understand what I'm getting at here? I think with all these little crappy things that the NHL has instituted, from replay to this to puck thrown out by in your own zone, they've made other people more important than the players.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they've done.
Yeah,
it's more important to be on the official side or the league side now, rather than the player side. That was a fucking goal by Cooley. And we go back to the one you're talking about where he turned his skate. Yeah, that's all he did. He didn't kick it in.
Nope.
He just deflected in the net. Like I've seen 100 goals scored like that since they allowed that shit.
Right.
And all of a sudden, this one's not clear as day to you, then somebody needs glasses in Toronto. Or the officials, like you said, that make the call on the ice. It's just the inconsistency has turned it into like a laughing stock. How's that?
Yeah.
It really is. It's a laughing stock now.
I agree. And
penalties being called and not being called, and like Trouba the other night, he hits a guy clean. He gets confronted. I'm not going to say he got swung at. He sees the guy takes a poke at him. Well, it should have been at least 2-2, but no, it wasn't Trouba just because he threw the first punch. He was confronted. What do you want him to do? But this is the kind of inconsistency you get with the NHL.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, I'm gonna throw this in there because I know I talked about it with a good friend of mine, Ron Greshner. We all know who he is, right?
Sure.
There should not have been a penalty on the hit on Lindgren last night or the last game.
I don't disagree with you.
It was a clean fucking hit all the way.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna cry about it. Like Ranger fans are gonna cry about there should have been no penalty whatsoever.
I don't disagree with you at all. First of all, definitely wasn't a boarding call.
Consistency we're talking about. At first, they tried to call it a 5-minute major. Then they dropped it down to 2 minutes. There should have been no penalty at all. This is what I'm talking about, Paul. Their brains are so full of like NHL regulations and shit now that they don't know what to do out there. These officials sometimes they really don't.
And the funny thing is, you make that point, and I agree with you. Not only was it not,
it's not boarding.
It wasn't a penalty.
Because he knocked the guy to the boards. That's
boarding. If you wanted to call maybe an elbow or something like that, that's not boarding. Lindgren is facing the play. He's facing the player. How is that boarding? It wasn't facing the boards. He was facing the player.
It was a clean check.
Dead his chest.
It was a clean check.
Oh, absolutely. Now I don't know if the hands got high. Why that was?
Yeah, you know what? There isn't a check made into the chest area that will not raise up a little bit. Just ask your boy Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I'm with you.
The only thing I'm going to say about Lindgren, though, I love the guy. He's intense, and he does play a rugged game. Do me a favor, strap your helmet on a little better because there was a play earlier in the second period where his helmet popped off halfway too. Now, I get it. A lot of guys I played would like to let that bottom strap hang. They didn't like it underneath. But if you're going to play a rugged game, you better have that thing tightened up like a vice.
I've seen that too. Totally.
His helmet popped off both times on that hit on the board.
I saw it.
When he got dropped in front of the net one time.
Yep.
So don't be afraid to put that helmet on, or else you're going to be Mr. Concussion pretty soon.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
But the officiating's been nothing but inconsistent, Paul, since the mid '90s, since they started putting all these rules in. I think about it.
I don't disagree with that. What I haven't found, Cots, what I do find strange is I have to tell you that I would say 9 out of 10 reviews I felt like they got right from what I've seen. Now I could be wrong, but I'm talking about from what I've seen in the past when they reviewed the play, they usually got it right. Okay, especially when you're talking about goals, scoring goals. And it's just been the opposite this year for me. I'm sorry. I see there's two by Cooley, the one by last night. There's a couple of other incidents that I've seen that I'm like, how do you review this and get it wrong still? I could see in the live action you didn't see it. You're just human, and that was the purpose of implementing the process of review. But if you don't know the fucking rule, and you're going to tell me that Will Cooley kicked that puck in, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. And then last night again, and the other night again, you don't see that puck has crossed the line? It had nothing to do with Kako jamming after that. The puck was behind the line before.
It was already behind the line. It was already behind the line before Kako went after it.
I know that.
He was right there looking down on it. The other part that irked me about that whole situation is we didn't get the proper explanation from it after all that time.
Nope.
I want somebody to ask that official, why is it you blew the whistle after you saw the puck in the net?
Right. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I don't know. I think there needs to be that needs to be addressed. The reviews are horrible. I hope, and I know you don't talk. I would love to talk to Paul Stewart again. I remember we had him many years ago, but I want to hear the explanation of how when you review that you still don't get it right. And then is there anyone looking after this? After they make the bad call, is the head of officials looking at this saying, "Hey, Dave Jackson, or whoever the fuck your name is, you didn't get this one right. You got this one wrong. So let's break it down for you."
Remember, I told you a long time ago when we were doing it just on the radio show, Paulie. Why aren't these guys interviewed after a game? Why are not officials interviewed after a game? They should be able to take 5 minutes of their time after a game before they take a shower like a player does. Hey, what was your reasoning behind that? Why did you make that call?
Right.
They don't want it. They don't want to do that because they feel like they're more special than anybody else. They don't have to answer to anybody. I know they get reviewed and I know they get graded, but how come we don't know about that? How come we don't get to see your grades? How come we don't get to see what your head guy thinks about your performance that night?
Right.
And players get scrutinized every day.
Right. Yeah.
You and I scrutinize players every time we talk. You like this one, I don't like this one. You know what I mean? Why can't we get them to do a 10-minute press briefing after a game? I'm pretty sure there's some good Jimmy Olsen reporters out there would like to ask him some of these questions. Like, what was your reasoning behind that call?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's get a fair answer from these guys.
Yep.
The NFL doesn't do it. No major sports does it. It allows the officiates to be interviewed after a game. I mean, how many times have you seen a player like, well, I had a bad game today, it's on me. You know what I mean? Why can't we hear it from the official too? And I blew that call. I don't want to hear about you blew that call like after you're retired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a protected group. It's a protected group of people. It's the way it is.
All right. I gotta grab a beer.
All right, go grab a beer.
And I think you got the next couple subjects, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about my ex-team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Right now, I've watched enough. I've watched more Leaf games than I have in the last few years because I do got the free NHL package this year. Is William Nylander right now the best player on the Toronto Maple Leafs? I know everybody thinks it's Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews seem to get most of the news and stuff like that. But I've been watching William Nylander this year, and boy, oh boy, I mean the guy's a stud. Well, there you go. Paulie's got the new Yingling. We got to get Yingling again. Hey, Yingling, we're the only ones drinking your stuff on the web right now. Feel free to sponsor us, okay? But I'm talking about William Nylander, Paulie.
I know.
He's a stud. He broke the Toronto Maple Leafs record of 15 straight games with a point. He leads their team in scoring right now overall, which Austin Matthews did not. And I just want to give him a little heads up of being like, boy, this guy's a stud, and he's apparently a free agent now. The Leafs got cap problems like another team we know. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him at the end of the year. I don't know. You probably don't watch very much of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but right now he's the man carrying that team.
Well, listen, we talked about it earlier in the year, man. They have the world upon their shoulders. So, they need so. I mean, Austin Matthews is still tearing. He still leads the league in goals, though.
I think he still leads the league in goals. Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, they need everything over there, and I tell you, man, I would be petrified to be part of the management team, or really anybody with the Toronto Maple Leafs right now, because anything short of a Stanley Cup final.
Oh, I know where you're going.
There's going to be, there's just going to be, I mean, the fallout and the abuse and the everything. I would be afraid to do anything with Toronto right now.
I'll even further that. I think that if it's Stanley Cup or bust,
yeah,
there's going to be major changes. That includes Brendan Shanahan running the show.
Yeah.
You don't get to run a show for as long as he has, right, and not come up with some kind of tin trophy or silver chalice, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a Brendan Shanahan fan as a player, but I'm a little suspect on how he's put this team together over the years.
Yeah.
Talented, but shit defense and shit goaltending. Yeah. Same thing in Edmonton. It's kind of weird. Both top studs in the league on both teams are getting killed by lousy defense and lousy goaltending. Right. Think about it. So, I'd agree with you. Like, management might, the ownership might have had enough if they don't win it all this year. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Speaking, I'm going to throw that in there. The Edmonton, what did I say to you a couple of weeks ago, last week? They need a change there. So what do? They fire the coach. That's usually the first thing. Okay.
Yep.
Ray Woodcroft, the guy was coach of the year 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious.
You know what I mean? And they fired
from 0 to 0.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? But Dave Manson was the defenseman coach. They fired him too. They raided the Rangers farm club and got Chris Knobloch, who's apparently an up-and-coming guy. So he's now the head coach. And they brought Paul Coffey back in as an assistant coach to coach the D. So that's a start.
McDavid in the juniors too, didn't he?
What's that? Knobloch?
Knobloch coached McDavid.
He coached McDavid for 3 years, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're correct. Yeah. But how do you coach McDavid? Just open the door, shut the door.
Just put him out there. Hey kid, you still breathing? All right, you're up.
but that's not all. I'm telling you right now. I watched their game last night. The Islanders had them tied. The Islanders aren't doing very well right now too. But the Islanders played them pretty much for 2 periods. But then all of a sudden, bang, bang, couple power plays. Next thing you know, final 4-1. You know what I mean?
Dreisaitl's goal was the big goal for them last
What
night.
a cheap shot he gave on Horvath, though, yesterday, too.
He got suspended for that.
Well, he got fined for that. $5,000.
Okay,
I'm going, you cheap bastard. What a cheap shot. He cross-checked Horvath below his knees from behind. Because he didn't like the way he was treated a little earlier by Horvath.
Yeah.
He only got a fine. What's a $5,000 fine to a guy making $9 million? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nothing.
But anyhow, that's that part there. The other part I want to talk about, might as well stay out in the West. There's, I think his name's Nikita Zadorov. What's his first name? I can't remember his first name, but Zadorov, the big, hulking, 6'6", 250-pound defenseman, has stated he wants out of Calgary.
I'll take him.
And his preference of places, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, of course. I'll take him.
Oh yeah, I definitely. He'd look good in the Ranger uniform, but
he sure would.
I don't think that's going to happen. The other thing I'm going to mention too is Florida Panthers are making a big push to get Patrick Kane.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, listen. I know for Ranger fans, I know this is a topic that's hot with Ranger fans. I really doubt you're going to see Patrick Kane as a New York Ranger. I really do doubt.
I still think there's a chance, but that's me.
I would think that the Rangers would have to make some moves significantly, like they did last year. They would probably have to get rid because they're too far against the cap, and Patrick Kane is not going to take a minimum. He's going to sign for at least minimum $3 million, $3.5.
I don't think so. I disagree with you. I read enough on it. The Florida doesn't have money either.
Yeah,
they think that he wants to win a Stanley Cup before he finishes it. So if Patrick Kane's going anywhere, he's not going into a middle of the road team.
Sure. No,
he's going to go to a team that's in the top 3-4 echelon, basically.
The Rangers would be
there you go.
That would be the Rangers would be there because the Rangers are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. Now,
I still think there's a possibility, Paulie. We the Rangers got some. They got some playing cards here to trade. You know that.
I know, and one of them is your boy Philip Hedl. And so I want to talk. Well, it's getting late in the game here.
Yeah, no, I got one more thing I want to blast. I want to blast the NHL one time. Go ahead. Do something about the Arizona Coyotes. It's ridiculous that they're playing in a fucking college rink. Okay? They're playing in a building that holds 4,600 to 5,100. They can't even sell out there. This has been your mess, Gary Bettman, from the start.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to take till you get beat over the head on this thing. Either get them a real rink or move them. One of the two. All right, that's it. That's quick.
We gotta talk about. Listen,
Marty Walsh, the president of the NHLPA, came out and said it. These are NHL hockey players that deserve an NHL rink.
Yeah. Listen, you said this years ago, and I'll never forget it because you're 100% right, and I give credit when credit's due, and I usually give you a lot of credit. Vegas Golden Knights. I said, shit, I don't think that's going to work. And you said, Paulie, you'll be surprised. I think it will work. And you are 100% right. Matter of fact, when I go to Vegas in 2024, I'm going to play a hockey game there. I'm going to go to a hockey game there. But I will tell you this. Phoenix, Arizona has failed hockey. There's other places you can go.
Boy, there's your girl.
Oh, there's the love of my life. It's like my love life. I love them, they hate me. Now, Boss is a good boy, but that's the devil's dog back there.
That's Luna.
Yeah, that's the devil's dog. But
she sure is.
She'll freaking eat you. I'll tell you right now. The only 3 people she won't eat is Cody, Lisa, and Chris. Anybody else is getting eaten. All right. But let me finish my thought here.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that Quebec can't furnish a hockey team. You can't tell me, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised. Your old alma mater, I bet you that Hartford could probably do a hockey team better than Phoenix can. And there's, plenty other states that could afford and do very well with a hockey team.
Well, it's pretty obvious, Paul, because I read a little bit about it. The city of Glendale, where they had the rink before, they don't want to deal with the hockey thing. They didn't want to renew the obligations to the club. Now, this is Gary Bettman's mess. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
It's not ownership that keeps him alive, or the rest of the team's keeping him alive. Oh. This is Gary Bettman's mess.
Absolutely.
But we will give him a little. Well, the Vegas Knights, okay. Got to give him a little there, go on. There was a smart move too, but this is getting ridiculous. I mean, if I'm a Arizona Coyote right now, I don't know. What are you looking forward to coming to your home rink every night? Like, seriously, what are you looking forward to? You're not really looking forward to a packed house, a bunch of crazed fans. They're lucky. From what I hear, they're lucky if they get 4,000 a game in that place of 5,100. You know what I mean? Like. Think about that for a while.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get enthused and get fired up for what? I'm playing in a college rinks. Arizona State, which I know the team because they played Quinnipiac years ago. And it's great for college hockey that they got a team there, but we're talking about a professional hockey club in the NHL here. And they're just pissing it away there and pissing it away continuously. Now, you said Hartford, you said this. Go back. I even heard again. Get this one. Atlanta again. What are you, stupid? Atlanta's one of the worst cities in the world for sports people.
Yeah.
They don't go to football games. They don't go to baseball games. Now you're going to send hockey there? What are you, crazy?
Here's my biggest problem. And we have to talk about this. No, I promise we're going to New York Rangers. We're definitely going to go over time.
We got time.
But I have to say this because you make a good point. This is Gary Bettman's baby, and he's fucked the duck long enough with this team. Because, Kotze, I remember doing shows 7-8 years ago talking about how poor it was. Glendale didn't want them. They couldn't get an arena. They're going to change their name. What's going to happen? They don't want to renew the lease. All these things. But instead, you make an expansion team when listen, Seattle's got a hockey club, and they're doing good, and that's a good place for – Washington's a good place for hockey, okay? So instead of creating an expansion, move the fucking franchise like you have before to a city that can support that. Don't create new teams and clog the drain more. Take a team that has been struggling for a decade now, if not more, probably 15 years.
Yeah.
And move them to a hockey city that's going to receive hockey like you did instead of an expansion draft. But here we are. We've expanded in Vegas and we've expanded in Seattle. So you don't have what are you going to do? I think the only places you can go is probably Quebec City. I think Quebec would be happy to have another hockey club and to support a small club. I think they could do it. And then, I don't know. There's got to be some. I don't know. Do you try another?
I also heard Houston.
Well, you got Dallas Stars, yeah.
Well, yeah, but again, they've tried hockey there. The WHA.
Yeah.
It's Seattle was a no-brainer because I'm a little bit of a historian. I understand Seattle's always had a hockey history.
Yeah.
Look up Seattle's hockey history, people. It goes back to the early 1900s. Okay. So It's not like they went to a place and didn't understand the game. They might not understand their politics, but they understand their hockey. You know, but Arizona, I mean, yeah, that's great. You wake up every day and then the weather's fine, and you're living in these, nice palm tree neighborhoods and all that crap. You get to play golf every day, but if they're throwing over and over and over again, they're not a hockey town. They're just not.
No, I know.
You're not a hockey town. For you to have all this trouble with the rink in Glendale and all this, moving to a college rink and everything back, how many times a different ownership? You know what I mean? This, that. I mean, and I don't know about you, but if I'm an owner, I'm tired of supporting it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of supporting this shit.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're taking my money to support them? You're the one that made the mistake, Gary.
Yeah. And you double made the mistake when you expanded instead of moving a franchise. You should move an existing franchise that's suffering before you should expand into a new one. That you could have gave the city of Las Vegas and the city of Seattle a hockey club. You could have gave it to them. Here it is.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to move you over here.
But they did get paid well for them.
and you know what? That's the point. It all came down to dollars and cents.
That's what it comes down to.
It all came down to dollars and cents.
Always.
And here you are. You got the Arizona Coyotes, the Phoenix Coyotes, I don't know what they're ever going to be Coyotes because there's no support for them.
I don't think it'll be the Quebec Coyotes. Let's put it that way. It'll be the Quebec something.
Yeah.
Bring back the Nordiques.
Yes. I would love that.
I would too.
I would love that. I think Quebec would be the right choice. And I think changing the name to the Quebec Nordiques would be the right thing.
Bring them back.
So that's that for that.
All right, let's get into the Rangers. All right, let's get into them. Listen, the Boston Bruins, the Vegas Knights and the Boston Bruins are rolling, right?
Yep.
There's another team rolling.
The New York Rangers.
Yes, they are. Third best record in the National Hockey League, 2 points behind Vegas Knights going into tonight. I don't think any of us would have expected this. But, that being said, pretty damn nice to see, isn't it?
I got to be honest with you. I don't know that anybody would have expected the Rangers to be in the top 3. But I don't think that anybody thought that the Rangers wouldn't be a very good hockey club. So let me elaborate. I think with the disappointment last year, you had a hope, first of all, as a fan, that the Rangers would come back with a vengeance. But in the hockey world, you had to see everyone rose their cap, tilted their eyeglasses, and said, you can't think that the Rangers, any analyst, anybody last year would have never thought the Rangers would have got bounced in the second round. I don't think. Except for that guy that we don't talk about anymore, that shit stain. Everybody thought the Rangers were the real deal. So they come out this year, couple of roster changes, lost some power for sure, but have really kind of put a whole team thing together here. And I got to tell you, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with Laviolette. Yes, he's a good boy.
Here's Paulie's favorite right there.
He's a good boy. Yep. But the other one's not. She's rotten.
Uncle Paulie will be here again when we go to the outdoor game.
Yeah. And you can sleep with me, boss.
Oh, he's got no problem with that.
Yeah. But listen, I think now, with the way the Rangers are gelling, and I got to tell you, I didn't realize the coaching philosophies, how different they were. and how much the Rangers needed this type of structure, I guess, to really kind of blend together. I mean, you see a game out of Panarin that we haven't seen, and we've talked about this, and I'm not going to go up and down about it, but I mean, ever since the guy's been here, he's been dynamic for the team. But I think he's at another level this year. He's bringing out the greatness in Laffy. He's helping other players. Look at Trocheck now, and him himself. What he's got points in what 13 or 14 straight games.
Who's that?
Panarin.
Oh, Panarin's unbelievable. Like, he's playing like an obsessed player right now.
Yeah,
like to prove a point to people.
Yep. I tell you where I'm scared, and I know we talked about this last week, and I know there's a couple players you want to talk about, but I still feel like Zibanejad looks a little underconfident. I guess that's the word. He's not confident.
Oh, well, I'm still not worried about him.
Okay.
Probably they're 11-2-1 or whatever the hell they are, and we have this problem. It only becomes a major problem when the record
when you're losing
worse. Okay, so I'd like to see him produce a little bit more. I think he played 14 games or something like that. And he's still got 10 or 11 points. He's just not scoring. You know what I mean? He's not putting the puck in the net.
Right.
But here's my take on the Rangers right now. Okay, you arguably got the best goaltender in the world. Okay, and he hasn't played 2 straight games, and guess what? They won both games. One with Louis Dominique, who played fantastic, and Quick played good enough to get them the overtime win the other night. Quick's been exactly what they needed. A veteran guy who's won a Stanley Cup. And I'm looking at the rest of the squad. There's only one other guy that's won a Stanley Cup, and that's Goodrow on the team. There's only a couple guys on this team that know what it's like to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So, good addition there. Laviolette, okay. I was questionable with him because of the lack of success since he won a Stanley Cup with the Hurricanes back in, I think, 2008. But here's what I noticed about him. I think he puts pressure on the players to perform by giving them the option to be better, by putting them in the right spots. Okay? Like, in other words, I'm going to give you that shot. You want to be on the first line? Okay, here you go, Lafreniere. You're on the first line with arguably the hottest player in the league right now. Artemi Panarin and William Nylander, 2 guys. So Lafreniere is finally figuring it out that, I'm not going to be that game-breaking type of guy that everybody expects from a first pick overall. And you and I had our little arguments comparing him to Hedl and stuff, but I think Lafreniere is a smarter hockey player than Hedl, personally. That's what I think. Smarter. May not have the skill, skate-wise, and all that stuff, but I think he's a smarter overall player, and I think he understands now. Okay, I'm never going to be that guy. I'm not going to be Artemi Panarin with the puck, a magician. Okay? Although I think Lafreniere's got great hands, don't get me wrong. He's smart enough to understand now, okay, I got an opportunity here, so let's get to the net. Let's work hard. He's worked hard on the boards. Okay? He's more physical than he's ever been. He's more involved than he's ever been.
Yeah.
Okay? And Panarin, right now, Panarin's like, he's the guy stirring the pot on that whole team offensively. There's no question about it. But I'm also going to give kudos again to a guy. Gustafsson is the best defenseman on this hockey team right now. And I might even argue he was the best defenseman when Adam Fox was in the lineup.
Yeah, I'm big on this game. I'm big on this game.
I judge defensemen by both ends of the ice, not just one end.
Yeah.
Okay? Gustafsson's been an unbelievable pickup. Now, Will Cooley. Let's talk about Cooley a little bit. You can see it in him, Paulie. He's got the hands. He's got the speed. He's got the size. He's only going to get better.
Oh, I know.
He's only going to get better. But unfortunate for him, he's in what you and I were arguing about earlier. I'd like to see him play with that first line, see how well he does. But it's not going to happen right now because there's a pecking order. But someday he will be in the top two lines.
Well,
and you're really going to see him burst out. But overall, what I see with Lavalette, okay, I got off track there a little bit. They changed the coach for a reason. The players obviously were not happy for some reason with Gerard Gallant. I don't know why. His record was pretty damn good. But that's the case. If that's the case, and you portray that to your management, I've been in this situation before. You portray that to your management, and your management goes out and gets a new coach. Well, you as a player, you better be fucking ready to play.
mm-hmm.
You better be ready to perform. Okay? It'd be like, well, you, for instance, you manage a group of people, right? What if you were the new guy that came in after the old guy? You don't think those guys are going to bust their ass to make you like think they're great? That's the way it is with hockey too, Paulie. There's no difference.
Yeah.
They know that right now, the core of this team, your Zibanejad, your Kreiders, your Panarins, your Adam Foxes, all those guys that we talk about the last few years, they know that it's either now or never because you can't blame the coaching anymore. You cannot blame the coaching anymore.
Yeah.
You've done that more than once now. Okay? They've done it with him, with Gallant, and they've done it with Quinn. Okay? Now this is your last stop.
Yeah.
Or else there's going to be changes done to this team. So that's why I think they're all a little bit more pumped up, a little bit more alert, a little bit more like gung-ho this year. Plus, they heard all the bullshit from the summertime about how they choked in the playoffs, which they did. We can't argue that. You lost 4 fucking straight. Nobody loses 4 straight in the playoffs after being up 2-0.
Right.
Good. You choked. That's all there is to it. So they don't want to hear that crap anymore, and that's why things are going pretty good right now, considering the injuries to Fox, the injuries to Justin. I don't know how bad Heedle's going to be hurt long for. You know what I mean? Fox. Lindgren got hurt the other night, but they've seemed to rally around whenever somebody's out of the lineup. They've lost 2 games, Paulie, in regulation. That's it.
I know.
So
I know.
That's my take on it right there.
Hey,
and
Richard.
One last thing I got to mention. Capo Caco, you got to start showing more.
Here you go.
I honestly think. I said this to Gresh the other day. I said if I was in charge somehow, some way, I'd send him down to Hartford right now. I would let him get some kind of where he feels dominant with the puck again against lesser players. Because all that outside work means nothing anymore. It's not produced. He got 1 goal, 1 assist, Paulie. That's it.
Yeah.
You know. I don't hate him, but he needs to go down and play dominant hockey that he was used to coming out of junior.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because you got Mike Mason there. He's like, hey, Caco's trade bait. You know, I said this too. First of all, I want to back up a little bit, and I'm going to say this. Because I was preparing this for the show. I honestly think that Will Cooley is the future of the New York Rangers. I think you're going to see this kid absolutely explode offensively and in a leadership role. And I wouldn't doubt if at some point, Trouba's got a long way to go, but I don't know what kind of contract he has left or whatever, but I wouldn't doubt at some point if Will Cooley sticks around with the New York Rangers, he won't be one day wearing the captain's C. Now, that's a bold statement, and I get that.
You know what? I don't see anything wrong with that.
But I got to be honest with you. I love this kid I watch him every game, and I know I say this every show because I am amazed at how, for a rookie, how structured he is inside his game. Watch his game. He's never out of fucking position. He's always in a very good position to either make a nice clean hit, a forecheck. He's always seems like his game. He's so structurally sound inside of his game. I'm dumbfounded by this kid being a rookie. I can't believe it. He's got great size. I think he's 6'3", 220 pounds.
Something like that, yeah.
218 pounds, whatever it is. If you watch, I know you know this, Kotz, but I got to reiterate it because I watch him and I play it in my mind, man. He's constantly in the right position. Very few and far between he's not on the right side of the puck, man. And I just think as he grows in his confidence, he scored the other night. I thought it was a good goal. I seen it. It fell behind it. But
he also got hooked on his little mini breakaway there.
Yeah, he did. He did. I just think, I mean, for this kid to look and do what he's doing right now, I really see this kid to be a real dynamic future part of the New York Rangers. And I haven't seen that in a long time, out of a rookie coming from Hartford.
Look, he's just got to continue what he's doing. Remember what I told you a long time ago, and I still argue with me, and I argue back with you still about it today. About when you come into the league, you always think as a player that you have the ability of that other guy. You always believe that. I think he believes that he has just as good ability as anybody on the team. Okay. But he understood when he came into the team, that's not what they want him for right now.
Right.
They want him to be an east-west, north-south guy, physical, all that stuff, play good defense, play decent offense, be an all-around player, not just a specialist. Like, let's call it what it is. Panarin's a specialist.
Sure.
He's a specialist. Adam Fox is a specialist. These guys are specialists. So he was smart enough to understand I'm going to make this team. How am I going to stay with this team?
Yeah.
As you see him grow, you can see there's ability, and it's getting better and better. Okay, yeah. And you went out on a limb, and I'm going to go out on a limb that you could be seeing a larger version of Adam Graves here.
Yeah.
With and I'm going to say this, and I love Adam Graves, with better puck handling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah.
They finally got one right with Will Cooley.
They sure did. And like I said, man, I don't think I'm too far away from stating that this kid is going to be a franchise player for this team.
I agree. I
really feel that way.
He could end up being like a better version than Jamie Benn when Jamie Benn was in his prime. Remember Jamie Benn in his prime? Scoring, leading his points, and dropping his gloves every now and then.
Yeah, big strong guy.
Not taking any shit from nobody, leading his team. I'm trying to picture him as a player right now, what he could be like.
He's definitely.
He's just going to be himself and be the Will Cooley and welcome to the National fucking Hockey League, boys.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Yeah, I would really like to see him get on that first line with Zibanejad and Kreider. I think he could play the opposite wing. I really do. I really do. And I think with Zibanejad's speed, I think he would attribute and help Will Cooley's game as well. I really do. But like you said, I think he's going to be, because you've mentioned this before, I think he's going to be, he's going to be that Chris Kreider power forward type of guy, but with better hands, better skill in handling the puck. No doubt in my mind.
No, that's not a knock on Kreider, but that's what I believe.
Yeah, I believe it too, and I'm sure they all want to see that. So I'm very high on Will Cooley, man. I absolutely love the kid. And on the flip side, I don't know. I think you got a great point. I don't know what kind of contract he has. I don't know. I don't know. He'd have to. I don't know if he'd have to pass through waivers, Cox, but Kako has just been extremely disappointing, and I know he hasn't been in the league as long as Heedle has, but I think
his numbers are better than Filipinos in his first 3-4 years, but
yeah,
he's coming off of a 19-goal season.
yeah.
And I think he's struggling right now. I think he's struggling to find his offense, period. I mean, eventually you got to like not worry about possessing the puck. You got to put the puck in the net. He's a guy that they rely on. Again, we go into the drafting positions, okay? It really don't mean shit to me. When you're an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, don't mean whether you're first round or your 30th round. You're in the league at 18 or 19. I think he's got to start concentrating on shooting the puck more rather than protecting the puck.
Yeah.
Think shot first. Don't think stretching my knee out to shield the guy off all the time. You got an opportunity to shoot the puck.
Yeah.
Okay? Good things happen when you shoot the puck.
Yeah.
Nothing happens good when all you do is carry the puck around in circles. Okay?
Yeah.
There's only a few guys that can carry it around in circles and actually make plays. Panarin's one of them. You know what I mean? Zabinajad's another. Trocheck's a pretty good guy when he does his little circles once in a while.
Trocheck's game has been real good, man. Real good game.
Listen, I know a lot of people have been up and down with him. I knew what they were getting when they got him, okay? And again, it comes down to what people think, are we getting the money's worth? We can't do that anymore on everybody. You can do that on some people, but you can't do that on everybody because somebody is willing to pay him that, so the Rangers outbid him. You know what I mean? That's all there is to it. Plain and simple. Does everybody deserve the salaries they get? Obviously not in the league. But if there's one other franchise involved, then you have to pay more to get him. That's all there is to it. Trocheck's a good player, Paulie. He's a good player.
He is.
He's a good player. Don't think people should not think of him as a guy that's going to score 35 fucking goals and get 80 points. Don't think of that. Think of a little shit disturbing 20, 25, and 50, 60 point guy winning faceoffs. Okay?
Right.
Killing penalties, that kind of guy.
Puck battles, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Going up the middle.
Yeah.
Going in the dirty areas.
I mean, how else do we forget whenever he played the Rangers, he used to cause shit all the time physically.
Yeah.
Challenge because he knew he could. The Rangers are pretty soft. You know what I mean? He's not afraid to get his nose dirty.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree,
well,
man.
Now they got a big 5-day break. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep things rolling. It might be good for the guys that are injured.
But there better be a lot of practices in between.
Capitals beat Vegas 3-0.
Who beat Vegas?
Your boy, Alex Ovechkin.
Oh, good. Well,
Richard just gave us an update. I wouldn't watch that team if you fucking paid me to.
So, I don't know. I guess we digress.
No.
What else we got to talk about? Anything else?
That's it. That's all I got today. That's enough, man. Remember, we've got almost 2 hours here, or an hour and a half. So.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Uh,
There'll be more stuff to talk about. I got a feeling we're going to keep an eye on what happened with the Adam Johnson case, and keep an eye on Zadorov's trade demands.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Rangers will be still ready to go when they get out of this 5-day break. And
so here's a question for you. If Lindgren stays out, what do they do?
Oh, they got to bring somebody up to play defense.
Who are they going to bring up? Tell me who they're bringing up.
Oh, that's a good question. Not going to be Robertson again, is it? Or McKay? They got McKay. They brought McKay up. They did bring him up, but they sent him back. He never played a game in the last week or so. So,
is there any reason why they're not bringing up Ben Harper?
I don't know the ins and outs. I think Beth did that for us last time. Like, what would happen if they bring him up and send him back down? Does he clear waivers? Does he blah, blah, blah? Too much bullshit in all this waiver crap. So I have no idea. I think Lindgren will be okay.
Yeah.
I think he will. I hope he will. I mean,
yeah, I'm worried about him, Cots.
you've been worried about him for years, and there's reason to be because he plays a big man's game in a small man's body.
Yeah, but I mean, he's the last year he got banged up a little bit. Now early this year, this is the second time he's been banged up, man. And it's early, you know.
Yeah, but Paulie, you have every right in the world to. But let's put it this way: do you want him to be like not hit, not play a feisty game? Like
no.
Like most of the Ranger D?
No. His game's very important. I'm worried about him.
He's not going to change.
No, I don't want him to change. I'm just worried about him. How much longer how much more abuse his body can take. That's what I'm worried about. No, I don't want him to change his game. I just don't know how much longer he's going to be able to compete at that level.
If I was his teammate and I was in the league for 5-6 years already, kind of like when I told Wendell Clark. I told Wendell Clark after the first year, I said, dude, the league's already fearing you. You don't have to try to hit every big guy in the league because you're 5'10", you weigh 190 pounds. These guys are 6'2", 6'3", 210, 220 pounds. They're already fear you, but they're not afraid of you. So stop trying to hit everybody every shift. He didn't listen to me, Wendell, unfortunately, and he ended up with back problems throughout his whole career.
Yeah.
But even before I left the Leafs, he was having back problems and missed time. So Lindgren's the same, not the same level as Wendell Clark, but he plays a game that doesn't resemble his body. He plays a big man's game.
Yeah.
He gets in people's faces. He's always in scuffles, always, whatever, giving out hits and taking hits.
Yeah.
I would tell him that maybe you could just turn the dial down a little bit and make the hit when it's completely available, not just maybe available.
Right.
That's what I would say to him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
All right. Mason, your job is to get us a sponsor. Tell Vincent's to sponsor us.
Spaghetti and clam sauce. That stuff is good.
We'll advertise their sauces on here. I want Yingling to do it.
I tell you what.
All I gotta do is just give.
It's my new favorite beer, man.
All I gotta do is just give me and Paulie free beer for the rest of our life. That's all. We're not asking for money.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It's my new favorite beer. I really, really, really like it.
Now, when did you start that?
Believe it or not, I did. I was at a friend's house, and they had a different version of it, and I liked it. And then I was shopping, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna get some beer. You know, I'm a Bud guy. I've drank Bud my whole life. I really, I haven't really deviated from Budweiser. That's my go-to beer. Not Bud Light, Budweiser. And I would drink Yingling Lager whenever Budweiser wasn't available. That's my next go-to beer. So I saw this and I said, you know what? I'm going to get it because I'm a Pilsner guy. And I'm trying not – the thing with beer, I love a cold beer, but the lagers get real heavy for me. And then I feel like, all the time. So, this is it's just a tad bit lighter.
Hold the fuck. What was that again?
I constantly had the indigestion and I wanted to burp. And, you get gassy from all that beer. So the Golden Pilsner is just a little bit lighter. It's not a light because I can't drink light beer. I hate light beer. Hate it.
If anybody's still listening, this could be the most full of shit explanation I've ever fucking
I'm
heard.
just telling you. And so now
Huh.
I like it. It's just a little bit lighter. It's not as heavy as lagers. So that's it.
See this guy here, the Savage Dragon? He thinks that's the most full of shit explanation.
Try not to gain all the weight, man.
You're fighting it, big boy. You're fighting it. You're not going to be one of those with plastic surgery because you're a movie star now, are you? Where your face is like Cher, liposuction, and all that stuff.
No, we're talking about beer. This
I'm
guy
talking about this thing while you're talking about saving your body. That's what you're talking about. Nice
I'm
burn.
trying not to have a big fat beer belly.
Nothing wrong with it.
So, Yingling Golden Pilsner.
By the way, that's why they call it a beer belly, because it's beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway, it's my new favorite beer.
I might try it, but if you say it's lighter, yeah.
It's not as heavy.
This is actually my favorite right now. The Black and Tan.
Yeah.
It's really, really thick and like Guinness-like.
Yeah, see, I don't feel like I feel like drinking a beer, not eating a meal. That's the difference.
Why don't you just go to Bud Light then?
I can't because I can't drink light beer. It doesn't have the flavor I want. I can't stand light beer. The only light beer I can drink. Well, I'll drink. Actually, Yingling has a lighter beer. It's pretty good. It's not horrible. I can drink Coors Light if it's ice cold. But it's not like that's like my third or fourth or fifth choice if I don't have what I want. But I really like this Golden Pilsner more than I like my Budweiser. So that's saying a lot.
Well, at least you're heading in the right direction.
I've been drinking Budweiser
Get away from Bud. Get away from
for 20
Bud.
years, man.
Get away from Bud.
So there it is. There's my endorsement.
Jets 3-2 over the Devils.
Nice. Devils. It's third period though. Let's go Jets. Vincent wants you to come for a visit. I'll tell you what. That was good linguine and clam sauce.
We might do that if we go to the outdoor game the day before too.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I really want to get up there. That'd be great because honestly, that weekend
we can go visit your mom.
Yeah.
And then we can go from there right to Vincent's. Actually, no, your mom's food is just as good as Vincent's.
It is. Oh, it's actually better, but
there you go.
I'd
love to meet your mom.
Yeah, she'd love to meet you too.
I want to hear the real story. Well, it's like when I went to visit the Schmitz down in Virginia. His mom came over for a day.
Oh yeah.
So I sat with her and we just shot the shit about everything, including the Schmitz, the whole day. So I got all the scoops, the real scoops. And yes, she was drinking the sauce right along with me.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, my mom don't drink though. She can't. She can't. She got 3 stents in her heart.
I'll be nice. Don't worry.
Oh, I know. Anyway.
That's it. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for your support. Get in touch with Yingling and Vincent's. And
I should get in touch with Yingling and say, hey, we're just a small bunch of people on YouTube, but we're drinking your beer live.
And you live in their state.
Yeah, but the Yingling thing's about 2 hours away, 3 hours away. They say it's a pretty good experience though, because it's still done in a mountain type cave.
Really?
Yeah. There's a cave where they keep it cold and all that shit.
Listen, I really want to let me know because I really want to try and make that stadium series. That would be
I am at the Rangers' mercy right now. Again, I did ask for 2 tickets. They asked how many tickets I wanted, so we'll go from there.
All right.
I'll let you. And listen, it shouldn't be a big. The only problem is for you. There's 2 things. You shouldn't have a problem getting a flight at any time.
No.
It's just you have to make arrangements with that great company of yours called BMW.
Yeah, I have to. Well, what I'll do? No, I'll just take vacation time and fly in on because the game's on what, a Saturday or Sunday?
I don't know.
I think it's Saturday.
It's a Saturday game. Yeah.
It's fine. I'll fly in Friday. And I'll leave Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever. We'll stay. I'll stay a couple days.
Hear that? That was my Yingling burp.
We'll stay a couple days and we'll have some fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Until then.
All right. Good night, everybody. Make sure you join the Instigators Hockey Club on Facebook. What did I say? The Instigators Hockey Club, the Instigators Hockey Show on Facebook.
Great people to spread the word out about our show.
Yeah. So next week,
post it on your Facebook pages, whatever.
Yeah. Beth, thank you for everything. You really helped me today and all the time, actually, not just today, all the time. Before we go, let's look at the schedule. Probably going to do Wednesday next week, if you're okay with that.
Yeah. Well, what's the schedule like?
I'm going to look now. So, in November, the next games are away at the Garden. What's this? What am I looking at? What is happening right now? What's the problem? What's this thing doing here? Upcoming schedule, man. What's the problem?
They play what, Sunday? The next game's on Sunday, I think, or Saturday.
Yeah, they play Sunday. Okay, and then they play Dallas on the 20th. Right? So Sunday, Tuesday. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Wednesday because then Thursday they play the Penguins. So.
Are they on the road?
Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Are they at home or on the road on Thursday?
They're on the road on all these games. At Jersey, at Dallas, at Pittsburgh.
All right.
Wait, what is happening here? Oh, yeah. Wow. They got another road. What's happening? Let me see something here. Something's wrong.
Listen, I'm still on. I'm looking at the site, Ranger website. That's what you got to go to. You don't go to some stupid, NHL garbage.
All right.
They're on the road. They're on the road, okay?
They're on the road for a bunch of games. Looks like 3 games.
Yeah, they're on the road for 4 games.
Yeah.
Dallas, Pitt, and Tortorella.
Oh, yeah.
That's on a Saturday or Friday in Philly. So 1 o'clock starts. So what was that the Thanksgiving weekend, right?
Is that Thanksgiving Day, Cots?
The 24th? Is it? When's Thanksgiving?
I think it's on 24th.
Okay, good. Then it's Thanksgiving Day. That sucks. They better win the next 3 games because they're going to play at 1 o'clock in Philly on the 24th, and then 1 o'clock again at home against Boston.
No, the 24th is Friday, so it's Black Friday. Yeah. So Wednesday next week, if we can, because then obviously we've got Thursday. Well, then we got Thursday Thanksgiving, can't do show, and then Friday they're on. So yeah, it looks like Wednesday next week.
Wednesday.
All right.
All righty.
All right, everyone. Looks like Wednesday next week. We'll see you then. Good night.
See ya.